Welcome, everyone, to race 7 of the Firestone Champ Car Challenger Series. Following Indianapolis just a week ago, now we get to come to New England, Loudon, New Hampshire Motor Speedway, hosting race 7 of 20 in the IndyCar National Championship. For everyone tuning in, welcome to ABN coverage of the Firestone Champ Car Challenger Series. From all the way in Adelaide, all the way to the end of the season in Atlanta. It is Maria Chavez, top of the board, front of the field, on pole position for the second time this season. The Escuderia Guia driver will lead the field to green alongside Jake Carter. And the point standings are very interesting. Maria Chavez, Jake Carter, two of the many drivers contesting being in promotion eligibility for the season. One driver that is pretty well clear of the rest of the field is Arrowhead Racing's Rachel Koivuniemen. The Finnish driver currently sits 48 points above the cut line right now. 48 points ahead of Isabel Lantra, who kicked off the season in Adelaide with the race win and led the championship the first 5 races. Has had a very troubling downhill slide. Rachel Koivuniemen, the points leader, enters this race third on the grid alongside Frostfire Racing's Nero Takarasi. Valerie Fang, Isabel Espinoza, they sit in row number 3. Seth Smith Jr. and Aspasia Megalos sit in row 4. The top 10 is rounded out by Roberto Crown Jr. and Asada Quito. Quito also one of the drivers that are really in the middle of that hunt to be top 4 in points at the end of the season. Karina Sakurauchi did not have a great time at Indianapolis last weekend. Going to try to hope for better. 11th on the grid alongside Amity Polsatrix, Sonia Walker, and Isabel Lantra in row 7. Lantra again losing grip on the front of the field. Starts this race 14th on the grid. Natalia Kurachenko and Katrina Ochoa sit in row 8. Row 9 is Rika Venäläinen and Keisha Fox. Row 10, the top 20, is rounded out by Arashi Seto and Jace Clark. Jace Clark coming off of a fantastic weekend last time out, where he finished 11th in his first Indianapolis 500. Mia Vitsu, serving a 10-place code penalty, will start this race 21st on the grid alongside Rex Riley. Vitsu qualified 11th, has speed in that 35 car for Cat Devil Racing. Maria D'Amata starts behind her. In row 12 alongside Luisa Floros, Katerina Malinkovic, who won last time out at Indianapolis for the Gamebridge 300, starts alongside Sora Hoshino all the way down in row 13. Row 14 is Faceporia's Karina Amara and Felicia Zappa. The top 30 rounded out by Dale Blanco for Crystal Cove and Kira Moore. And then the 16th row is Yumina Mizuno and Yuya Ishii. So a lot of work to do for those further down the order that have to make passes happen. This is a track where passes will get more difficult. As this race goes along, you see the red wall tires on these cars. Those are the alternate compound tires. So we're going to have some pit stops here. We're going to see some magic at the Magic Mile. It is going to be a wild time, though, all things considered, because of where everyone's at after Indianapolis. A wild race at the Brickyard just 8 days ago. For those tuning in from the race in Nazareth that took place earlier this afternoon, welcome. Welcome, going just right up I-95 towards New Hampshire, and weaving your way towards the Hampshire Motor Speedway from Nazareth, Pennsylvania. A wild doubleheader in the Champ Car World Series season, both last night and earlier today. Now it's a Challenger Series turn.
Start your engines!
As you hear the command to fire engines, showtime begins. here in New Hampshire. Again, it is Maria Chavez front of the field. The Ford Raptor pace car will lead the field along. 225 laps around New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Track that has had a storied, if not inconsistent, past with the IndyCar World Championship. 32 cars, all of them rolled out of pit lane easily. Now we'll get ready to take the green flag. Magic mile, 1 mile long per lap. The math can't get much simpler, but it's the distance between A and B that will make all the difference. Pace car will take the run down pit lane. It is Chavez Carter, front of the field. Green flag flies and away we go. The Aramark 225 is underway. Everyone running a little bit wide here. These are really fast lap times here. Still mostly double file. As they complete lap 1, starting lap 2. Chavez Koivanemi up to second. Ahead of Carter. Valerie Fang in fourth in that 54 machine. As Seth Smith Jr. works the way around Nara Takarasi. And here comes Roberto Crown Jr. as well. Everyone giving each other plenty of space here. 32 cars. All of them running an average lap speed right now of 166 miles an hour at least. This is Crown alongside Takarasi. First 5 cars have broken away single file. And there goes Crown ahead as well. Meanwhile, look at Asada Quito around Isabel Espinosa as well. Espinosa trying to hang on to that position. Staying alongside him here. This is for the 8th spot. And Espinosa does get past. Stays 9th, stays top 10 ahead of Megalos. Megalos in the top 10 there. There is Karina Sakurauchi trying to stay ahead of Sonia Walker. Down the front straightaway they go. And here comes Espinosa attacking Asada Quito. Trying to recapture that lost ground. Not close enough that time. Down the back straightaway they go. Sakurauchi held on to the outside, using the outside lane to hold on to the 11th spot there ahead of Walker. Walker stays ahead of Natalia Kurachenko. Then you have Katrina Ochoa and the 45 of Isabel Lantra. Emily Bolsatrix there sitting in the 16th spot. Mia Vitsut's already gained 4 spots from 21st to 17th. And she got around Rika Benalainen to take that 17th spot. Keisha Fox battling with Arashi Seto, the 52 there. Karina Amara, Katerina Malinkovic alongside Maria D'Amata. There's Yumina Mizuno, 31st on the grid. Already up almost 8 spots here. The 23 car charging forward. Everyone moving so far in the running order here. Front of the field still is Chavez. Koivanemi pulling away from Carter. Valerie Fang sitting in 4th. Then it's Seth Smith Jr. top 5. And these midfield battles are all over the place here. Seto still battling with Keisha Fox. Trying to make some headway there for that 19th position and can't do it. Here comes Bolsatrix on Lantra for 15. Bolsatrix drives in deep. May not be enough to really have any inroads there. Lantra keeps the door open just in case Bolsatrix did try to send it. But the Canadian driver stands down to the Maltese in that 45. There is Ochoa, the Baltimore native. Trying to get her season on track here. Driving so far in the early goings of this race. This is Sakurauchi and Kurachenko going at it. Sakurauchi stayed ahead there. It stays in that 12th spot. Here's Megalos, who's lost a spot to Sonia Walker. Walker now in the top 10. The track she's very familiar with. Meanwhile, Kurachenko once again going for it. They may lose a spot in the outside lane. Everyone driving in super deep right now. Seems like the outside lane's picking up some momentum as those tires wear. Remember those red wall alternate tires. Forcing these cars to dance around, fine grip where there otherwise normally wouldn't be. And it allows the 27 of Ochoa to gain a spot up to 13th place. Walker in 10th, just behind the 26 of Espinoza. Nero Takarasi sitting in the 8th spot. 7th is Asada Quito. Roberto Crown Jr. sits in 6th. Seth Smith Jr. in 5th. After finishing 2nd a week ago at Indianapolis. Valerie Fang in the top 4 right now. Ada Carter and Koivanemi shadowing Maria Chavez. Trying to pull back into this battle at the front of the field. They go around through turns 3 and 4. Still a couple battles going on at the moment. That's Yumina Mizuno to the inside lane. Right now battling Karina Amara, up now 10 spots. Mizuno is on the charge. The Team Sakura driver. The biggest mover of the race by and far, by a wide margin. There's Karina Amara there. That's Maria Damata just ahead of Mizuno here. Apologies there. Still getting over an illness. Thought we had the mics muted there, but we didn't. Mizuno shadowing Maria Damata. This is just outside the top 20 here. Damata 21st, Mizuno 22nd. Amara 23rd at the moment. Milinkovic 24th. Jace Clark in the 25th position at the moment, trying to slow climb his way forward. Everyone running a slightly different line though. Trying to get some clean air. Absolutely key to this racetrack. Kovanemi seems unbothered right to the gearbox of Maria Chavez. Has not been really any attempt to get around the 29. Carter running a little bit wider there. turns 1 and 2. Just had a browsing, perusing. Felicia Zappa sitting in the last position at the moment. 32nd just behind Yuya Ishii. Riley being attacked by the 67 of Kira Moore. And Moore finds a way through. So the two Canadians swap positions. Further afield, that is Arashi Seto and Rika Venäläinen for 19th. Now Seto under threat of losing a spot to the Brazilian Maria D'Amata. D'Amata had the advantage across the line. And it looks like D'Amata making that outside lane work out pretty well. And that puts Arashi Seto down just ahead of her teammate. Just had his teammate, sorry. And Yumina Mizuno. Mizuno trying to make their way forward. Already up 10 spots ahead of Karina Amara as well. Team Sakura struggling, but Mizuno seems to be the fastest car of the three. Paul Strix in the 15th, in the 16th position. Elizabeth Lantra 15th. Trying to make any inroads here and try to get around Natalia Kurachenko there in 14th position. Meanwhile, Ochoa once again putting the pressure on Karina Sakurauchi, the United City resident, right now in 12th. Losing a little touch there with Megalos in 11th. Megalos herself losing touch with Sonia Walker, who's in the top 10. Fastest lap of the race was a 22.576 by Koivuniemen. They're already down to the 23 zeros at the moment. And we are 38 laps into this race. So lap time is beginning to expand due to the tire wear. So teams have to begin thinking a little bit about when they want to come in and take tires. Chavez leads the race, has led every lap so far. Coming to start lap 40 here in New Hampshire. Even people make pit stops here. Koivuniemen peeks to the inside, thinking about going for a pass. It's a car in pit lane. I think that was Valerie Fang. If I'm not mistaken, it is the 54 Valerie Fang. And she's not alone. Fang to her box, and so is Natalia Kurachenko. So pit stop's not far away. Carter's in. Jake Carter's in. And so is Takarasi. So pit stops, they have opened here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Race leaders stay out an extra lap. Who blinks first, Chavez or Koivuniemen? Chavez will blink first. Koivuniemen will take over the lead of the race on lap 44. Most of the field came down pit lane that time. That is Kurachenko leaving pit lane now. And here comes the 61 of Koivuniemen. Points leader by 48 points going in. Coming into a very busy pit lane as a bunch of cars come out of their pit boxes. Koivuniemen had to really try to slow down there for Asada Quito, and that'll cost the 61 time. Carter, one of the first leaders that came down pit lane, gonna get around Maria Chavez. So Jake Carter, who was in the mix at Indianapolis last week, should be able to inherit the race lead pretty easily here. Koivuniemen leaving pit lane now. That very slow 37-mile-an-hour pit lane, and that time loss does matter. Koivuniemen will drop down all the way down to 5th place by the time it's all said and done. Jake Carter, now your race leader here in New Hampshire. As pit stops are done, Koivuniemen in, no, sorry, not Koivuniemen, that's Takarasi in pit lane now. Jake Carter now in front ahead of Valerie Fang, Chavez, Seth Smith Jr., Crown, and Koivuniemen your top 6 ahead of Quito, Espinoza, Kurachenko, and Megalos, Ochoa, Lantra, Walker, and Sakurauchi your top 14. Takarasi stationary for a prolonged period of time. Will now sit multiple laps down, but all 32 cars still running here in New Hampshire. Fresh tires, Lantra trying to make inroads here on Ochoa. That's 411th. Lantra gonna try it again. No, she can't afford to lose too many more positions, especially with all the points that she's lost over the last 2 weeks, or last 2 races, excuse me. To Koivuniemen in the national championship standings. Ochoa, though, staying firm. Koivuniemen in the 6th spot. Crown looks to the far inside. Whoa, there's an issue with Crown. Huge problem for the 10 car. Koivuniemen gets around for 5th, but it seems like there's a loose wheel or a tire issue of some kind for the 10 car. Yeah, he's taking the emergency exit all the way. Oh, really big trouble there for the 10 car. Almost went all the way back onto the racing surface. He got back under control. And Crown's at the first pit stop coming in. We'll see what's going on there with the 10 car momentarily. Meanwhile, Jake Carter comes to complete lap 51 of 225 here in New Hampshire, front of the field. Ahead of Fang, Smith, Chavez, and Koivuniemen now your top 6, or top 5. Quito in 6th, Espinoza, Kurachenko, Megalos, and Ochoa your top 10. We're going to step aside from a word from our local partners. The Aramark 225 continues here on ABN. Welcome back, everyone, to the Aramark 225 here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Loudon, New Hampshire, playing host to the Champ Car Challenger Series. Driver center of your screen, Jake Carter leads the way over Valerie Fang and Seth Smith Jr. You see this little battle going on right now between Takarasi and Roberta Crown Jr. Roberta Crown a lap down here, having to make a pit stop due to a flat tire, a tire delaminating. 10 car having to make a pit stop. Takarasi 2 laps down as well, having also needed to make a pit stop for a loose wheel. So both of them with tire-related issues, putting them off the sequence. All 32 cars still running. Jake Carter, the race leader. He has led now 15 laps here in New Hampshire. Valerie Fang yet to lead a lap. Same with Seth Smith Jr. Maria Chavez, the pole sitter, led 42 laps to open up the race. Championship leader Rachel Koivuniemen led 2 laps during the pit sequence. Both Chavez and Koivuniemen right now sitting in the top 5 right now, just a little off the pace away from our race leader Jake Carter. He has been denied on more than one occasion so far this season. Koivuniemen sitting in the 5th spot and sitting safely so in that 5th spot ahead of Asada Quito, who sits right now in the 6th position. Quito sitting in 6th as things run ahead of Isabel Espinoza. There's Natalia Kurachenko, Aspasia Megalos, and then a battle for 10th between Ochoa, Lantra, and Walker. We've had 6 different winners in 6 races this season. Carter being one of those previous 6 winners. He won at Fontana. Lantra won in Adelaide. Venalainen won in Phoenix. Koivuniemen, our championship leader, won at Night City. Yuya Ishii won at Sonoma, and Katerina Milinkovic won a week ago in Indianapolis. Carter trying to become the first repeat winner this season. Carter's 24 points away from Lantra, so this would help him out as far as getting the second place in points in a heartbeat. There's Takarasi getting ready to go further down the track position order. That is Valerie Fang and Seth Smith Jr. both getting around the 2012 Indy 500 winner. Meanwhile, front and center is a battle between Maria Chavez and Rachel Koivanemi. Chavez, that Telcel blue and white machine, Koivanemi in that Arasaka black and red car. Ford versus Toyota. Koivanemi struggling to find a way around Chavez on that inside lane. Chavez also has slipstream from Takarasi, which allows the Mexican driver to sweep right on ahead of Koivanemi. Try to line up the Slovenian driver for a pass into turn 3. Here we go. And Takarasi pinched off the nose of Chavez there. Chavez will have to work for it. And you can tell this navigating of lap traffic has slowed down those that were trying to catch up to Carter. Smith Jr. shadowing Valerie Fang at the moment. Last car on the lead lap right now is Yuya Ishii. Ishii got passed there by Felicia Zappa. Sora Hoshin has not really made any inroads. Neither has Chase Clark or Luisa Flores, who sits 26th. Del Blanco's made some inroads. The 56th car, the teammate for Jake Carter, sitting 25th at the moment after qualifying 30th. Mixed Rally and Amy Bolstrix also together now. The two Fortune Racing cars right now sitting 24th and 23rd. Lurashi Seto in 22nd. Katerina Malinkovic in the 21st position. And there is Yumina Mizuno, the biggest gainer in the race so far, from 31st to 20th position. Up 11 spots in this race. There was Kira Moore, 19th place, 18th for Maria Damata. Karina Amara up to 17th spot. Then it's Mia Vitsunen, 16th, 15th for Keisha Fox. And Fox going to try to make some inroads here by getting around Rika Venäläinen. No dice there, though. Stays 15th. Venäläinen in 14th. Sakurashi in 13th. A decent gap from 12th place, Sonia Walker. Battle in the fringe of the top 10, though. Pretty spicy. That's Kurachenko and Megalos going at it. The Russian and the Greek driver battling for the 8th spot, just ahead of Katrina Ochoa. Second through 5th, all trying to catch up to this man right here, Jake Carter, who had a phenomenal first pit stop. Now approaching traffic. This will slow down Carter a little bit. Everything staying stationary right now in that second spot. Trying to stay in lockstep. Hopefully gain some ground. They're 3 seconds adrift right now of the race leader. who is now at the tail end of a very long pile of cars. Looks like everyone's pace trying to increase it a little bit, seeing at the 23.0 range, 22.9 for Fang that last time by. Smith looks to the inside, as does Koivinami, but they slot back in line. Consistency issues for Valerie Fang, 23.2 last time by. It's slowing up the entire group here. And Koivinami trying to get around Chavez. Once again, this is for 4th place. Had it at the line. And she'll get around Chavez there. That's for 4th. Now in the hands of the championship leader. Laps tick away rapidly here in New Hampshire. Just a little over. Actually, a little under 3 laps a minute. About 23 seconds. Gap is now open. It's extended to 3.5 seconds, so Valerie Fang definitely not, I think, the right cat to be leading that second group right now. Carter in traffic, still running faster. And a car comes in. Fang came in. Sakurauchi in as well. There is also Asada Kito and Isabel Lantra. Second pit window is open. These tires blistering a ton as it stands right now. Jake Carter comes in this time. And he enters a very busy pit lane. So will Seth Smith Jr. And it leads to their own devices. Koivinami and Maria Chavez. So Koivinami back out in front. 3rd lap led tonight for the Finnish driver. Chavez still yet to lead a lap. Sorry, excuse me. Chavez led the first 42 laps uncontested as pole sitter. I was thinking of still thinking of Valerie Fang there for a moment. So pit stops coming pretty quickly here. As the field makes its way around, Carter's in the middle of all this group, ahead of the 75 of Luisa Floros, behind Arashi Seto and Sora Hoshino. Fang gets back around there for 2nd place, provisionally, ahead of Seth Smith Jr. There's Jake Carter, and he stays firmly ahead of everybody there. It doesn't seem like anyone in the top 5 really changed positions that much at all. Maria D'Amata now, it looks like 2 laps down, speeding in the pit lane. So a stop and hold for the 8 car. has put the 8 car now firmly a lap down. Sadakito made his way around. Crown Jr. right now in position in the top 5, but again, he's got to make a pit stop off sequence here. He's got to make a pit stop off sequence because he had that cut to his tire that forced him off sequence. Valerie Fang trying to find a way around Yuya Ishii, who's a lap down. Luisa Flores, the first car a lap down. There's Jake Carter, your race leader. Deep in traffic. Fang is now gaining ground on Carter. It was 3.5 seconds for that pit stop sequence, now 2.1. Now it looks like it could be closing. .7 for Jake Carter that last time around. So what the lap time was for Valerie Fang here momentarily. .28, so now the gap stabilized just a moment, but that's because Valerie Fang is also now in traffic. All 32 cars still running as we approach the 100 lap mark here in New England. Car that came down pit lane, that was Roberto Crown Jr. As expected. All 32 cars still running. 27 on the lead lap. Last car on the lead lap is the car ahead of Jake Carter right now. That is Felicia Zappa, 50 car. Gap grows again, now 2.5 seconds as Fang struggles around the 44 Ishii, who does not have the pace. Yeah, this fight here has put everyone a little bit closer, but they're not really making any inroads on Yuya Ishii at all. It's allowing Jake Carter to stay pretty comfy and plush up at the front of the field. Ishii's fastest lap is a 22.701. I think to put it in comparison, Luisa Flores, a full 10th faster on their fast lap, still running a 10th faster now. Carter with a 22.559. Felicia Zappa with 22.617. Yuya Ishii has the slowest, fastest lap of the entire field. which is not a good omen. But as close and as competitive as this field is, it doesn't take much to hold the field up. And that's what you're seeing right now. Right now leads the way. Has now led 60 laps in this race. Has taken over the top spot in the laps led category. In a race that could see him jump to second in the point standings over Isabel Lantra. Bovenemus is right now top 4. Maria Chavez still in the top 5 ahead of Asada Quito. Isabella Espinosa there in 7th place, Natalia Kurchenko 8th, Sonia Walker 9th, Megalos in 10th. Lantra sitting 11th place right now, only with 19 points in this race in hand. Would lose out to Koivanemi even more points. And would definitely lose second right now to Carter, who would swing in to take that second spot. Would be into threat from Chavez for third, because Chavez came in just a point behind Carter in this race. Right now Chavez sitting top 5, but that's 30 points, 32 points right now for Chavez, lap led and pole. So yeah, realistically, really good chance for Chavez to really close in that battle for third. Seth Smith Jr. looking to try to get into the top 5. He would do so right now as things stand. Milinkovic sitting down the 19th position. Asada Quito would also gain ground towards the top 5. As would Megalos. Megalos 10th right now would gain a decent ground on Moore, Takarasi, and Milinkovic. Megalos right now sits in that 10th spot, just ahead of Isabel Lantra, who we're looking at right now, and they're just not far away is Katrina Ochoa, who needs a good run. Right now 24th in points. Level with Sonia Walker and just a point ahead of Valerie Fang. Valerie Fang set to gain a lot of points here as well. 40 points for Fang at the moment as things stand, if they continue to stand here. Seth Smith Jr. on the charge. Crown on fresh tires, gonna try to open the door to get around Yuya Ishii. But none of these podium contestants right now able to challenge for it. Here comes the battle for second place. Smith against Fang. Seth Smith Jr. dropping down the fourth there. Kovalkiewicz trying to get back to that second spot. Koivuniemen's been on the podium quite a bit this season. And 61 car on top of winning in Night City. Finished third in Phoenix. Finished second in Sonoma. Finished third last week at Indy. If she can keep where she's at right now and stay in the top three, that'd be 5 podiums in 7 races. Hence why she's had such a dominant position so far in the championship standings. Consistency has been critical for the 61 team, even though Jake Carter's had flashes of absolute brilliance. And you're seeing this traffic play out the way it has been. Carter's made no inroads on Felicia Zapper or company. That hasn't needed to, because this group's still struggling around the slow car Ishii. Ishii in the 29th position. Fang running 23 ones at the moment. Koivuniemen did have fast lap of the race, 22.461, still is fast lap of the race actually. Koivuniemen trying to work her way around Valerie Fang, here we go! 61 of Koivuniemen, 54 Fang, into turns 3 and 4. Side by side they go. This is what Seth Smith Jr. struggled to do earlier. And Koivuniemen gets ahead. That's for second. As those outside the top 5 at the moment try to get around Takarasi. Koivuniemen's moved up to the second spot. And you would have to assume that is in hopes of getting around Ishii in the same manner and trying to close in the last 100 laps of this race towards the front of the field to try to get that second race win. So former race winners this season, first and second. And Fang now struggling, because that's Seth Smith Jr.'s opportunity to jump into that third spot. But his car not as adept to the inside lane, side by side, as Koivuniemen's was. They'll stay side by side though into turns 1 and 2. Valerie Fang struggling. Here comes Koivuniemen around Ishii. Looks to the inside of the 44. And what a drive around the inside there as Fang held off Seth Smith Jr. Koivuniemen will drive around the 44 Ishii. Seth Smith Jr. going to try again to take third place away, from Valerie Fang. Pit stop's not too far away. And that's why Valerie Fang was trying to get to pit lane. Lost time in the process. There's Jake Carter. 2 cars between him and Koivuniemen, but pit stops incoming will change that. That is Floros that came down pit lane. Koivuniemen stays out, as did Carter. Smith comes in. So now the competition is between Carter and Koivuniemen once again. Carter bested Koivuniemen and Karina Amara at Fontana. believe Carter just came down pit lane that time. He did. Very busy pit lane as per usual. You have to assume Commentator anybody coming in this time by. Carter's led 83 laps of this race so far. And here comes the 61. Carter left his box there, gets ahead of Sora Hoshino. So Carter leaves pit lane. Should re-inherit the race lead. He had a pretty healthy margin. The question is where Koivuniemen comes out. Can Koivuniemen manage the lap traffic to close in the gap on him? Koivuniemen leaving pit lane now. It'll be very interesting. Koivuniemen will lose positions here. That's Smith, that's Crown, that's Fang. Koivuniemen comes out behind all of them. So Koivuniemen definitely lost out there. Now has to go through those passes again. You do not want to be stuck around Ishii that long either. Ishii definitely not up to speed. And Koivuniemen make sure that she is not stuck behind Ishii. Seth Smith Jr. now in the clear at the moment, so he's going to try to get pursuit to the race leader, who is ahead of Felicia Zappa. Arashi Seto now the last car on the lead lap. 3 cars 1 lap down. Zappa, Hoshino, and Ishii. Maria D'Amata 2 laps down. Same with Luisa Floros and Nara Takarasi 4 laps down. 26 cars on the lead lap. 90 laps to go. Carter, he said it's personal fastest lap of the race. 22.549 for Carter. Immediately drop back down to the 22.6s. Seth Smith Jr. had a better fastest lap, 22.516. It was faster on that lap too. Closing in little by little. Again, 4 seconds is a pretty wide margin to try to close down here as the laps tick away. But there is time. Another 22.658 by Carter. Seth Smith faster by about half a tenth that time. So gap staying stationary at the moment. Smith, though, very clearly in the second spot, ahead of Valerie Fang and Rachel Koivanami, who now have the ability to battle it out for that last podium spot for third. See the holdup right now going on between lap traffic. It's 2 lap cars all the way between Espinosa and Koivanami, because that's Marita Mata that's 2 laps down, and Ishii, who's 1 lap down. So that is insult to injury there. Akito's gotten around Maria Chavez. Chavez down in 7th, now ahead of Sonia Walker. Natalia Kurachenko top 10 right now. Same with Isabel Lantra, who has gotten around the 66 of Aspasia Megalos. Machola still 12th. And then you have Sakuraba. She's still in the 13th spot, but trying to find a way around the lap car of Takarasi. And then it's Miyabitsu 14th. Karina Mara top 15 at the moment. Yumina Mizuno from 31st on the grid to 16th position at the moment, with still some spots to gain, and there you go. That's a shot forward, or at least an attempt to be shot forward. There's no biggest gainer in the race so far, and it's not even a contest right now. Sakura Moore 17th, Rika Venelainen 18th, 19th, Keisha Fox, Amy Bolsatrix 20th, Paul 21st for Rex Riley, Katerina Malinkovic in 22nd, ahead of Chase Clark and then Dale Blanco, Rashi Seto, and then the driver controlling the pace of the field so far, the benchmark Jake Carter, who has now led 102 laps in this race. It's been staggering what he's been able to do in traffic of all things as well. Chevrolet's 1 and 2, by the way, with both Carter and Seth Smith at the moment. And Toyota's 3rd and 4th before he gets to the first Ford in 5th with Isabel Espinosa. Best Honda right now is 23 of Mizuno at 16th. This little battle here, this is for 10th. Megalos wants to get back into the top 10 here. They're trying to get around Launcher to do so. Meanwhile, Launcher's going to try to make an attack here on Kurachenko, who covers it off. Try to hold on to 9th place. Mantra stays in the 10th spot here as we watch this battle at the very fringe of the top 10. Isabel Espinosa worked around Maria Damata and now works around Yuya Ishii. So Isabel Espinosa surging her way forward now, with a chance to really battle for this podium place here. That's sitting just ahead of her, with Valerie Fang and Rachel Cuevanemi sitting pretty stagnant in the timesheets. And this is a gaggle of cars with the race leader in the middle of it. Ooh, this is going to be interesting. Yeah, he is now deep in this fight. That is Milinkovic going a lap down, potentially. Carter's not in a great spot right now. He is boxed in on the outside lane, and that's Takarasi up ahead, who's been off the pace with the suspension issue. As much as this is an opportunity for Seth Smith to close in on that gap, he's going to have to deal with this group too, which is not ideal. So that gap will close in less than 3 seconds now, but Smith is well aware of what is waiting and lurking at the moment. Down 24 cars on lead lap. The Rossi Setta, the last of the bunch. Yeah, I've been trying to get around Luisa Flores here. Roberto Crown Jr. on fresh tires, having still been off sequence on his pit stops. He's closing in and surging on this fight as well. He's 2 laps down, trying to get one of those laps back on the road here. Gap is down less than 2 seconds now, because there's Carter. And then there's Seth Smith Jr. there. So he's caught up to this. Looks like that was Ishii in pit lane too. Espinosa's caught up to this battle for third. Now it's a 3-car fight. cars in pit lane. So pit stops happening once again. And I have a feeling this is not the last pit stops of this race. That's 50 laps to go. A little over that 50 laps to go. We're coming to it. Very interesting. Let's see how this all plays out. Koivu stays out another lap. Very quiet part of the racetrack for Koivu. Whoa, cars in the wall. Huge crash on the front straightaway. And the race leader was in the middle of it all. Caution is out. Koivu and Carter, they all stayed out. That is Carter and Koivu. That's Felicia Zappa that's in the middle of it as well. And the race leaders get a free stop out of that. So does Sonia Walker and Aspasia Megalos. Cars trying to find their way through as fresh tire cars coming out of pit lane had to give through that as well. That's Nero Takarasi in it as well. And so the top two in the race get a free pit stop out of all of them. So let's take a look at what happened here. This is all up ahead of him. I feel like it's in this group right here. That's teammates together. That's Pulsatrix and Riley. And that's exactly what happened. Oh, and Carter definitely got a piece of that. Carter definitely got a piece of that. Oh, that is huge. Carter definitely got a piece of that. Everyone's so confused on what's going on right now. A lot of cars. All over the place here. Oh, this is going to be very interesting. Cars out of the race, at least we know it's Pulsatrix, Blanco, and Takarasi. It looks like everyone else trying to get their cars re-going, but this is going to be a very frantic 50 laps. Coming to 49 to go. Realistically speaking, there are 10 cars on lead lap. Technically speaking, there are 19. But there are no wave arounds here. It is Carter, Koivu, Walker, Megalos, Lantra, Ochoa, Amara, Fox, Venalainen, Riley, your top 10. Smith, Quito, Fang, Chavez, Espinoza, Kurachenko, Hoshino, Milinkovic. The cars technically on lead lap, though behind the pace car. Green flag flies, and away we go. And this is going to be an absolutely jumbled up mess. Koivu under immediate pressure from Sonia Walker. Oh, trouble! Oh, more trouble! And this is even bigger. And the caution flies once again. Koivu and Walker started. What is a huge conglomeration of cars. As the caution flies once again. D'Amata's in it. That is Walker, Koivu. There's Rex Riley also in it. That's Karina Amara. That's Keisha Fox. Both Arrowhead cars are in it. Now this does give reprieve. Oh no. It does not give reprieve to those cars. Because they came down, so they will still be in the same position they were in. They did not go all the way around the racetrack. This is a jumbled up mess right now. Here's Yuki Ishii, still stuck in pit lane as well. A lot of work being done for Karina Amara and Jace Clark. This is on the restart. But the name is shuffled out of line by Sonia Walker. And it seems like Koivu had some sort of issue. And Walker was to the inside still, and they just drew contact and immediate just damage across the board for so many cars. Ishii not one of those involved. Did a really bad break there. There's Chase Clark, pretty wounded in that 9 car. Went caution free for the first 170 laps, and the last 10 laps have had 2. Another car billowing smoke. That is Luisa Flores, who was laps down already. 3 laps down to be exact. Oh, it's going to be very interesting. We're down to 8 cars on the lead lap as things run. And the green flag flies once again. Oh, this is going to be really bad. You can feel it almost. Oh, trouble! Huge crash. Car flipping Sakurauchi. Caution out once again. Pace car will pick up Carter. No, sorry, Keisha Fox is the race leader. 62 car is the race leader. Oh my goodness, what's going on here? So pit lane opens, lead lap cars. Keisha Fox comes in. Carter will come in too. Third caution in quick succession here. In a terrible crash, Seth Smith Jr. and Karina Sakurauchi. Let's look at it. 3 wide. That is Yumina Mizuno. You see the shoot of the gap there. Huge flip. Megala's trying to avoid all of that. Another look here at Sakurauchi. Shot the middle of the racetrack, trying to get around Seth Smith Jr. and Roberto Crown Jr. And just ran out of real estate big time. Everyone scrambled big time, though, trying to get away from that. My goodness. So we're cycling through the field here. Looks like Carter's back out in front. That's the 55 car, Carter. I'd have to believe, actually, no, it may be on the control of Sonia Walker, and it would be. The 36 Pepsi machine and Isabel Lantra in second place. What a turnaround for Lantra, who, looking at this race for the majority, was okay. How many spots am I losing in the point standings now? With a chance to gain enormous points with the amount of cars out of this race now. Smith out, Sakurauchi's out, Fang, Amara, Koivanami, Flores, Riley, D'Amata, Pulsatrix, Blanco, and Takarasi all out within the last 12 laps. We are within 40 laps to go, coming to 39 to go. Natalya Karchenko is technically on the lead lap at the moment. And again, that is by technicality, by being the car ahead of Sonia Walker. But it is Walker that leads the way. Lantra, Carter, Ochoa, Fox, Megalos, Vanalainen, Seto, Karchenko, and more is the grid as they line up so far. Those on the lead lap: Mizuno, Chavez, Quito, Hoshino, Malenkovic, Clark, Vitsut, all a lap down, as is Isabella Espinoza and Felicia Zappa. Pace car pulls in. Green flag flies. Let's go. We've had 3 cautions in quick succession. Let's get back to racing. Here comes Lantra. Looking for the race lead. Easier said than done. Sonia Walker holds on to it. And there is Asada Quito playing spoiler at the moment on the outside lane. Really keeping Lantra pinned down there. It's been a pandemonium last 15 laps, back underway. Lantra trying to get clear of Quito, who is not only lap, he's a lap down at the moment, but really giving Lantra fits. And you have to feel for Jake Carter, who had this race pretty well under control, 131 laps led, and now sitting in third and in traffic. Keisha Fox has fallen backwards, wounded. We saw the damage on that 62 car, and you're seeing where she's fallen down too. Now down in the 8th position. Lantra's gotten clear of Asada Quito. And she's going to try to make some quick work of Sonia Walker if she can. Tried to send it to the inside. It did not work. Walker does not have a healthy car. That car was wounded in one of the cautions. Lantra's car in a way better shape, and you can tell that just looking at the right side of the car. Lantra's big chance, but Sonia Walker defending heavily at the moment. 2021 Cup Series champion taking on Isabel Lantra, race winner in Adelaide already this season. Trying to do more of the same. And Sonia Walker driving as much as she can right now to hold on to this race lead. Side by side at the line. You have to believe that Lantra has the advantage. She finally clear. I believe she is going into turn 3. She is clear. Sonia Walker made her work for it. Carter sitting in 3rd. Wondering how he got in this position of all things. There's Sara Hoshino, who is a lap down at the moment. Being passed by the 66 of Megalos there. Megalos in the top 5. And here comes the battle between Ochoa and Venalainen. This is for the 5th spot. Rashi Seto also in the mix, 7th place right now for the 52 car. Keisha Fox in 8th. Krachenko in 9th, last car on lead lap. Venalainen trying to get to that top 5 spot. Lantra is in the clear with a chance to win her 2nd race of the season. 28 laps to go. No losing time now down to 18th after being as high as 15th in this race. Isabel Lantra. 24 laps to go. Ahead of Sonia Walker and then Jake Carter. It feels like he's experienced highway robbery here in New Hampshire. 131 laps led. But will only be able to go for third place. Sonia Walker, despite the damage on her car, so far holding up, able to at least hold on to second place at the moment as things stand. Trying to hold on to second place at the moment as the laps tick away. Less than 20 laps to go. Carter trying to get to second place, trying to salvage something from this race. So kind of locked in behind Milinkovic as things run. See just how much damage was on the right side of Walker's car. That car has endured a lot. And Walker's persevered. That's been a top 10 car all race long, and you're seeing that still in that 36 car. Just how much they're persevering in that. Meanwhile, here's Aspasia Megalos looking to potentially take third away from Carter. Megalos could be in for a shot here for a podium finish. It'll be very interesting to see how this plays out. Roberto Crown Jr. in the way. Everyone's going to navigate him here. His car is also wounded. Lantra's in the clear. Without a caution, in the clear without a doubt. It's how does second, third, and fourth shape up? .13 laps to go. Carter under duress. Megalos is right there on him. This could be about a third. If Megalos can get to him, Carter's had a really hard car to beat all race long. But remember, he was involved in one of the cautions as well. His car is not 100% either. There's Ochoa, 5th place at the moment, staying ahead of Riikka Venäläinen. Venäläinen going to try to take that 5th spot away as well. 10 laps to go. And it's Isabel Lantra out and in the clear at the moment. Trying to rally back in the Drivers' Championship standings. Sonia Walker looking for her first podium in Champ Car competition. And Jake Carter asking himself how this one slipped away. Following along, see if Megalos can make anything happen. Looks like Venäläinen also going to try to make something happen with Ochoa as well. Oh, Megalos, really good opportunity here. Wow, Carter went really wide in 1 and 2. And that basically surrendered 3rd place. Spasia Megalos on the go, and he's going to try to battle back. But it will be in vain. Megalos, with 6 to go, takes 3rd. That was a really wide line through 1 and 2 for Carter that last lap. And Megalos made him pay for it. Oh, and here comes Sonia Walker. Cannot make it to the finish. Something amiss with that 36 car, which puts Carter back on the podium, but it puts Megalos now in 2nd place with 5 laps to go. There is Isabel Lantra leading the way. 4 laps to go and counting. Walker will, at the very least, circle back around to take the checkered flag in this race. Hoshino also couldn't see the finish. Here comes Kurichenko as well. And whoa, Lantra's in. Lantra's in. Megalos to the point. Did they not top off with fuel? Three laps to go here in New Hampshire. It is now Megalos, Carter, and Ochoa. Oh my goodness, 2 to go, 2 miles. Oh my goodness. This is insanity. Spasia Megalos will come to the white flag. 1 lap to go, and that pass on Carter will be the determining factor. It'll be more soul crushing for Jake Carter, who sees his 2nd race win of the season just 1/10 of a second up a road. Spasia Megalos out of 4 becomes a Challenger Series winner. She wins in New Hampshire, leading just 4 laps today. Spasia Megalos wins ahead of Jake Carter and Riikka Venäläinen on the podium once again. Katrina Ochoa, Arashi Seto round out your top 5. Ahead of Isabel Lantra. As the field comes down pit lane, Lantra first car lap down ahead of Isabel Espinoza, Kira Moore, Felicia Zappa, and Maria Chavez, your top 10. Miyavitsu, Yumina Mizuno, Sonia Walker, Keisha Fox, Natalia Kurichenko, Asada Kito, Katerina Malinkovic in 17th. Sora Hoshino 18th. Roberto Crown Jr. 19th, and it's Chase Clark, Seth Smith Jr., Karina Sakurauchi, Valerie Fang. Start looking at some of those that were taken out of this race. Smith, Sakurauchi, Fang, Karina Amara, Luisa Floros, Rex Riley, Rachel Koivu-Nami, Maria Damata, Amity Pulsatrix, Dale Blanco, and Nera Takarasi. Yuya Ishii ends up being the last car classified in 32nd place. A wild race here in New Hampshire sees a 7th new winner in Aspasia Megalos. And the racing doesn't stop. Next week we head to New York, just down the road to Watkins Glen, the Wells Fargo Grand Prix of Seneca Lake, June 1st, right here in ABN for the Challenger Series. We also get to see the World Series back in action as well. On June 2nd, the DoorDash Grand Prix of Chicago. They're in Grant Park. Busy weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Challenger Series on Saturday, World Series on Sunday next weekend. Congratulations to Aspasia Megalos, Jake Carter and Rika Venelina rounding out the podium. A wild race in New Hampshire will send us to New York in 6 days' time. On behalf of everyone here for ABN, for Horizon Corporation, Champ Car, and the Challenger Series, I'm Carmen, Sienna. Thank you all so much for joining us here for a wild race in New Hampshire. We'll see you next weekend in Watkins Glen and Chicago. Until next time, stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you next time on ABN.